Hello and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. My name's Hannah, and on this channel I post a lot of content about anti-MLM. So as always, I link a playlist right here and in the description box below. This is my big, hefty, super bingeable anti-MLM playlist. Every single video I've ever created on the topic can be found there. And if you find this content interesting or valuable or informative, I would love it if you would consider subscribing and sticking around. I upload new videos every single week, and that playlist is growing all the time. And for today's video, we have another MLM top fails. This is a compilation style video, and I rely on viewers to send me things like Instagram posts, TikToks, Reels, live streams, YouTube videos, whatever kind of content out there on social media that has to do with the industry of multi-level marketing or is posted by somebody in these companies. And the goal is to showcase those here and to react to them and to provide commentary. I'm pretty excited about the lineup of content that I have to show you today, so let's get right into it. First up is a bit of interesting MLM news. This is not new by any means, but it's new to me. It was only recently brought to my attention, and I was pretty intrigued by the information I found, so I kind of wanted to share that right up front. And that is that the essential oil MLM company doTERRA is now an official sponsor of University of Utah athletics. This came to my attention thanks to a few emails I got of people sending me like photos of their TV screens as they're watching the University of Utah gymnastics meet. And you can see in the photos, I'll put them on the screen right here, that the doTERRA logo and the advertisements are plastered like on the balance beams and on the screens along the perimeter of the arena and stuff. So I was like, this is really interesting. How did I not know about this? So I dug into it a little bit. I discovered that apparently in September of 2021, doTERRA entered into a 6-year agreement with the University of Utah that states, as part of the agreement, doTERRA will be the game sponsor of all Utah versus BYU sporting events that take place on Utah's campus, including football and men's and women's basketball games. In addition, doTERRA will be a leading sponsor and supporter of the Utes women's sports programs, including gymnastics, volleyball, soccer, softball, and swimming and diving, and the title sponsor of the Utah Spirit team. There's a couple interesting things in here that caught my eye, and I'm wondering if you're picking up on them too. The first thing is that the agreement specifies that doTERRA will be a game sponsor at football games and men's and women's basketball games in which Utah is playing BYU. This is interesting because they're specifically saying that they're not sponsoring all football games and all basketball games. They are only the sponsor of games in which Utah is playing BYU, which, if you're not familiar, BYU stands for Brigham Young University. This is a school sponsored by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And as you may know, there is a massive, undeniable overlap and connection between the LDS Mormon culture and the MLM culture. And that in a place like Utah specifically, there is a high LDS population as well as a high MLM population. A lot of these companies are headquartered in Utah, doTERRA being one of them. And this whole Mormon MLM connection thing is an entire topic in itself. It is so much information to get into right here, so I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to link an article below written by somebody who is in the LDS church, who is acknowledging all these connections between MLMs and Mormonism. And she lays it out really clearly and concisely in 10 different points about why this connection exists and why there are so many members of the church in MLMs. I agree with her points, and I feel that she does a great job of respectfully and concisely summarizing all those connections. So I'll leave that below if you want to check it out. But like I said, huge topic, don't have time for it right now. But the point being, I think it is very interesting and very noteworthy that they're saying we're not going to sponsor all football and basketball games, just the ones where Utah plays BYU. And the second thing that I noticed about this agreement is that it says, in addition, doTERRA will be a leading sponsor and supporter of the Utes women's sports programs, including gymnastics, volleyball, soccer, softball, swimming, and diving, and the Utah Spirit team. So this is a contrast to how they approached men's sports like football and basketball. For men's sports, they're only sponsoring the games in which they have a Mormon opponent. For women's sports, they are far more involved. They're sponsoring all events, regardless of who the opponent is. As we can see in some of these screenshots, doTERRA is displayed as a sponsor of the Utes versus UCLA gymnastics meet. And maybe I'm reading too far into this, but it is striking me as very significant that doTERRA has specifically chosen to be the sponsor of sporting events where the viewership is mostly consisting of either Mormons or women, considering that those are like the two biggest populations of of people that are targeted for MLM schemes. They're not sponsoring men's soccer, men's swimming, baseball, golf, or lacrosse. They are only sponsoring women's sports with the exception of men's sports in which they play BYU. Maybe they could blame this on budget, that perhaps sponsorship slots at men's sports like football and basketball are way more expensive to pay for than the women's sports advertising slots, who knows? But that still doesn't explain why they're picking and choosing only games that are against BYU and not other schools. Those are just a couple things I wanted to point out because that jumped out to me immediately. And another thing I wanted to point out is this reminder that corporations pay significant amounts of money to universities to have their company advertised at these huge sporting events. Here's another article I found that says, when asked about compensation methods, Sydney DeMarin, another corporate relations manager at doTERRA, said, quote, "We are paying the university. Sometimes it's in cash, sometimes it's in trade. We provide a significant amount of product to the athletes just to help them perform at their highest level." Which, yikes, that's an eye roll in itself because essential oils aren't proven to do anything. So helping athletes perform to their highest level seems like a bit of an outrageous claim, but I digress. The point is, doTERRA is paying the University of Utah to have their name plastered on sporting events. And I'm not an expert on how these agreements are created or the terms of these sponsorship agreements, but it's important to remember that pretty much any company can have the ability to sponsor these sporting events and to have their name advertised if they're just willing to pay for it. You can have doTERRA on the balance beam if you have enough money, basically. Universities give sponsorship advertisement slots to the companies who are willing to pay the big bucks. And I think that's really important to remember that just because we see doTERRA as a sponsor of Utah athletics, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are an ethical company. It doesn't mean that they have reputable or legitimate products. It doesn't mean that their product claims are substantiated by evidence. All it really means is that they had enough money to pay off the University of Utah and to have their logo plastered at sporting events. In other words, just because we see MLM companies being advertised at sporting events like this, I don't feel like that should give any more legitimacy to the company. It doesn't really mean that they're an ethical company with great products that you should buy from. It really just means that they had enough money to be able to pay to put their name out there. So I wanted to make that clear. And the last interesting thing that I want to point out is that way back in MLM Top Fails 37, January of 2022, if you can believe it, we featured a clip of Olympic gymnast Michaela Skinner promoting doTERRA on her own personal Instagram story. And way back in that video, I speculated. I was like, is Michaela Skinner a doTERRA rep? Did she sign up for the business opportunity on her own? Is she trying to work the biz like any other person? Is she trying to make a commission off of this? Does she actually use these products and believe in them? It really wasn't clear based on her post. It looked more so like a sponsored post by an influencer rather than somebody in an MLM trying to peddle their product. And it's since come to my attention, I did not know this, but Michaela Skinner was a gymnast at the University of Utah, in which the gymnastics program is sponsored by doTERRA. I don't think there was actually any overlap in that timeline, but personally, I feel like this gives way for even more speculation that perhaps Michaela Skinner was just paid to promote doTERRA on her Instagram story, kind of like a sponsorship, in the same way that doTERRA is now sponsoring Utah athletics. Maybe they just paid her off to say that she uses doTERRA products or something and that she's not actually a doTERRA rep herself. And at this point, over a year later, there is no indication on her social media that she is in doTERRA. There's no links in her bio. She doesn't seem to post about it at all. And I don't know, I kind of just get the hunch that her mentioning doTERRA on her Instagram story that one time was kind of a one-off sponsorship deal kind of situation, which is interesting because typically MLM companies don't really have a marketing budget. They don't really pay for advertisements. Sometimes they do, but not always. It's not very common because just the nature of the business model, their marketing is the people who sign up for the business opportunity. They don't have to pay those people at all. You just have these people signing up to participate in the compensation plan and they are your advertisers. They go out there on their own social media and scream your company's name from the rooftop for free. So why would they pay people for sponsorships, you know? But maybe in this case, because she was a University of Utah gymnast who went on to the Olympics, they did pay her. I don't know. Just speculation. Next up is a reel that has been sent to me numerous times, which tells me that it comes across as pretty concerning to a lot of people. I can't play the original audio because of copyright, but I will put some royalty-free music over it. And it says, "We made a core memory today." And it shows her cutting off one of her daughter's ponytails off the side of her head. And then it says, "She's been asking for this hairstyle since she was 3. I always thought it was a phase until I really got to know who she was. I only learned who she was because I'm able to spend all of my free time getting to know her. I'm able to do that because I am my own boss and get to decide where my time goes." So we started off okay. I love the idea of listening to your child and helping them do things that honor their identity, whether that's through the clothing they want to wear or a new haircut or whatever. Your daughter's been asking for this haircut for a while now and she finally gets it. I love that for her. Awesome. What's not so awesome is this mommy shaming statement at the end of the reel that says, "I only learned who she was because I'm able to spend all of my free time getting to know her. I'm able to do that because I am my own boss and get to decide where my time goes." And to take it even further, her caption says, "The amount of things I've been able to learn about my kids just by being able to adjust my schedule to fit their needs is unmeasurable. I would have missed too much of their personalities and growth if I didn't decide to start my business. I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying it's worth it. These kids have a mom whose goal is to know them. This was one of those moments where I knew my kid and what she needed from us. I am grateful for this career for giving me these moments." Really yucky, really don't love this messaging. So you're saying that you only got to know your child because you're in an MLM and you get to work from home. By virtue of that statement, are you therefore implying that mothers and parents that work outside the home don't know their kids? Are you saying that families can't be tightly knit and that you can't get to know your kid if you're not in an MLM? To me, this is mom shaming. This is parent shaming, and it's despicable. Just because you work from home does not mean that you are a superior parent. In the same way that people who decide to work outside the home are not inferior parents. Believe it or not, leaving the house, going to work, interacting with other adults can in turn make you a better parent when you're at home. That's not always the case. It totally depends on your family dynamics and your personality, on your kids' personality, on your preferences as a whole. The point is that every family has different dynamics and different needs. And just because you work from home doesn't make you a better parent. And it's not okay to be implying that that is the superior route and that you're only able to know and love your kids if you're in an MLM that allows you to be home all the time. And it's also not okay, in my opinion, to be using your child for content to promote your MLM business opportunity. This appears to be an important moment for this child. This is something that's really exciting. It seems like a big deal to her. And it doesn't feel right that mommy's gonna film the whole thing for content so that she can use it to promote the fact that she works from home thanks to her MLM. It's fine if you want to record this really exciting moment and share it with people on social media, but don't turn around and twist it into MLM content for your own financial gain. It's gross. The next thing I have for you is also a bit different, a bit unique, and this is actually a short YouTube video titled "Why I Make Money in MLM and You Don't, 2022. Real Talk After 3,000 Recruits." The guy in this video, the one who put this on the internet, appears to have a lot of experience in MLMs, and he has a whole YouTube channel dedicated to tips and tricks for how to be successful in the MLM industry. So I'm going to show you this video, and I'm also going to put it on 1.5 times speed just to get through it a little bit faster.
Yeah, so the title is kind of blunt, but I want to get the point across, and I really want you to make money in MLM. Finally, once and for all, moving forward in 2023 and beyond, this video is going to give you all the tips and techniques and what people do wrong in MLM. So there's only one thing that has to happen in network marketing, affiliate marketing, or anything online, and that is getting the sale. All right, and I'm not talking about going out there and pounding the pavement and talking to everyone 3 feet around you. That's not what I'm talking about. That's old school MLM. That should be left way behind. What I'm going to talk about is how to generate 3 to 5 leads a day, 3 to 5 signups a day, And these people come to you with their wallet out.
Hold on, time out. We've already got a problem. He's claiming that he's going to give you the tips and tricks to getting 3 to 5 signups a day, aka 3 to 5 recruits a day. He makes it sound so simple, like anyone can do this. But let's just think about this mathematically for a second with some logical reasoning. Let's go along with this idea that everyone can have 5 new recruits a day if you just follow his strategies. And I reference this example all the time, but here it is again. This is a spreadsheet that somebody created and posted on Reddit, and it's a great visual showing you that if you recruit 5 people who recruit their own 5 people, and they recruit 5 who recruit 5 who recruit 5, and this pattern continues apparently day after day after day, then it would only take your team 15 days to exceed the world's population, sir. Your team cannot increase in size like this every single day until the end of time. You're gonna run out of humans. You can't recruit 5 people every single day, my dude. And personally, I think that's probably the biggest red flag when somebody is giving you tips on how to be successful in an MLM, and he's making a video called Why I Make Money and You Don't, and that he's suggesting that you should be able to sign up 5 people every single day. That's just a lie. That's just not true. And we know it's a lie because not every person on planet Earth is currently in an MLM company. So no, it's not feasible for people who join MLMs to be able to recruit 5 people a day. Sorry, not gonna happen.
Most people are doing non-income producing activities. The first thing they do wrong is when they join a network marketing or affiliate program, they sit on it. They just let it wait for a week. They let it wait for a couple weeks. They're busy. They're doing other things. They think that they can just buy it and set it on the shelf. But if you really want to make money in network marketing, let's just single out network marketing. If you really want to make money in network marketing, the first thing you have to do is get in a company that is growing, okay? Don't join these companies that are 20 years old. It's ridiculous. The only reason those companies are still in business is because they went over to India and Asia and Africa and got huge followings over there, okay? America is usually sick of these MLMs by after year 5, okay? They come and go in America. People don't want to join Amway or Herbalife in America. If you do, you're crazy, okay? Because people have heard of these companies. They're burnt out. There's hundreds of scam articles on these companies. So don't do that. Don't join a company that's 20 years old. It doesn't matter if they make $1 billion a year and they've been in business for 20 years. That's BS, all right? You want to join a company that is brand new, ideally, or 1 to 2 years old. Okay, if you want to see their track record, then look up their revenue. And if they're climbing exponentially, great, get in it. If they're declining or plateauing, don't get in it. All right, something's going on if they're plateauing after only 2 years or 3 years.
The crazy thing about this is that he's exactly 100% correct. I agree. The older and more well-known a company is, the worse the opportunity is because of oversaturation. And like he kind of mentioned, the older that company is and the more people who join it and are burned by it, the more negative reviews are out there, the more scam articles, like he said, the more YouTube videos and Reddit threads and reviews you can find online cautioning people against joining these older companies. In fact, I was just having a conversation with a friend recently who was telling me that her friend just joined Amway. And I was like, Amway? Of all companies out there, Amway. Really? People are still joining Amway? Like, the company's been around for what, 64 years? You're saying he just joined the company that our grandparents joined back in the day? It's truly amazing that people are still joining these older companies, especially in the age of the internet, where you can type in the name of a company and, like I said, get endless articles, blogs, Reddit threads, videos, whatever, all cautioning you that this company is a scam. It's just so easy to find out that these older companies are scam if you just spend 30 seconds on Google. So in that regard, he's completely correct. What he's saying is true. You don't want to join companies that are well-known scams. He's saying what you want to do instead is join the new companies that are popping up every day in which people haven't caught on to the fact that it's a scam yet. A company's age and their reputation has a lot to do with how successful someone has the potential to be at climbing in the ranks of that company. But that is the whole issue. Just because what he's saying is true doesn't mean that it's not a massive red flag. His tip right here of saying don't join a company that's oversaturated basically gives away that these things are pyramid schemes. He's literally saying don't join a company where it's impossible to recruit because then you can't make it to the top of the pyramid. Thanks, Captain Obvious. That's literally the entire issue. That's why we're here, okay? If people can't make it to the top and can't make good money in these companies without recruiting others, that is the problem.
That's number one. Number two is you have to jump in and do a 90-day blitz of income producing activities. So every company that I've been in the last 8 years, I've made money in automatically. And the thing I do is I do income producing activities only. All right, let's talk about the non-producing income activities first. The first thing people do that's non-income producing is they set up their website, or they set up a Facebook group, or they make pretty little images that they might use, or they talk to the CEO for an hour, or they watch videos for 3 hours on YouTube. Those are non-income producing activities. Now, I know you have to get to know the products and blah, 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 but the thing is, the people that make the most money, they dive in first and start talking about the company, even if they only know a couple things. There's been several companies that I joined. I didn't even know the ingredients in the product. I just started selling it. I started doing company reviews on YouTube. I started running ads to my links.
Okay, great. So his next groundbreaking tip is to jump into a company and start selling the product without even knowing what's in it. Because taking the time to learn about the product would be a waste of time, because that's not an income producing activity. It's kind of like he's proving all my points for me. That is also a red flag if you join an MLM company and product knowledge is a secondary concern behind just closing the sale and recruiting others and making money that way. That tells you right there that these things are not about selling a product at all.
The bottom line is getting traffic to your links. That is the income producing activity, is getting traffic to your links and getting signups. Ideally getting in a company that has an autoresponder that emails your leads, because most of your leads are not going to sign up the first time they see something unless they're absolutely targeted. What do I mean by targeted? They're looking for a new company. They found your video online. They watched the review. They're like, hey, I want to sign up. This sounds great. I've been looking for something new. This is what I want to do. For example, a company just launched 12 days ago. If you look back at my previous videos, the last 11 videos have been about this company, because you want to do SEO. You want to do company reviews, especially if the company just launched. So I have 11 videos, and I've recruited 13 people from those videos. I've maybe reached out to 4 people that were in previous companies. I was like, hey, this is ground floor. Get in with me. Okay, you can get my spillover. We're going to grow this fast and hard. That's why I recruited 13 people in a week. Or whatever I said, 11, 12 people in a week. 7 days is my anniversary for this new program. So the point is, income producing activity is creating content that attracts people to you. All right, it's generating leads. If I don't get enough leads with these videos, I'm going to go run a solo ad. I'm going to go post an ad on Craigslist, or 3 ads, or 5 ads. That's the other thing people don't do, is they don't do enough of the income producing activity. They might post once on Facebook and be like, oh, that's good for 3 weeks. They might run 1 ad on Craigslist. They might run a little solo ad for $50. That's not going to do anything. If you're going to do solo ads, you have to do $500, $1,000. You have to do this consistently, once every 2 weeks.
Let's break this down, because his strategy here is different than other strategies we commonly see on this channel. Typically what we see are particularly women going on their social media accounts, posting Instagram stories or photos or reels, promoting the product, promoting the business opportunity, whatever. His approach is a lot different. His strategy is to find brand new companies to join them, and then he creates review style videos on YouTube explaining to you that it's a ground floor opportunity and you want to get in now. And he also pays for advertising slots to get the word out further. Paid advertisements for MLM companies are not allowed on Instagram and Facebook. I know that for sure, but they are allowed on YouTube and Craigslist. So his approach, rather than cold messaging people, he's going to go and put the content out there in the form of YouTube videos or ads to spread the word that this is a ground floor opportunity, and he waits for people to come to him. If you watch a lot of anti-MLM content, there is a very good chance that you've seen these types of exact ads that he's talking about, where a person pops up on the screen and they're promoting this great new network marketing opportunity, or this great new training course, or this great new business that just opened. And they say, click the link to find out more information. And this is because YouTube's algorithm does a poor job of matching the content of the ads to the content of the video. That's why you will see pro MLM ads on anti-MLM videos. And this is actually a really, really good thing, which we talked about in the last MLM Top Fails. So if you want an explanation, go check out that video. But basically, anybody has the ability to purchase an ad slot on YouTube, as long as you have the money to buy it and they're compliant with YouTube's policies. Kind of similar to what we just talked about with doTERRA and the University of Utah. It's like, if you have enough money, you can pay us to advertise on our platform. Anybody can do it. I could go make a YouTube ad right now and put it up for other people to see advertising my channel if I really wanted to. And that seems to be his strategy, which is really unique unique and really interesting and something we don't see very often. But the thing that's striking me is he's saying if you put one ad on Craigslist, that's not going to cut it. If you buy one cheap solo ad on YouTube, that's not going to cut it either. That's not going to generate enough leads. You need to be consistent about paying for these advertising slots. And he even said you should be spending $500 to $1,000 every 2 weeks on advertising to get the word out there about these new network marketing opportunities. That sounds like a huge investment that may or may not have any payoff. Investing $1,000 every 2 weeks, so $2,000 per month to pay to advertise your MLM business opportunity on YouTube, that's just such a huge expense that you may or may not see any return on investment from. But that's what he's literally saying. The third and final tip here is spend thousands of dollars on advertisements if you want to get people to join your team. Spend money to make money, basically. It sounds like a pay-to-play scheme. I don't know. And that's all of his video that I'm going to show you for today, but I kind of get the impression from his YouTube channel that he's like a serial MLM hopper, and that's his strategy. It looks like he goes to join one ground floor company and he promotes the crap out of it for a couple months. Like he said, this company launched 12 days ago and the past 11 videos I posted have all been about this company. And because of that, I've gotten however many recruits, 12, 13, whatever he said. And it's like he'll join, he'll promote it, he'll get some recruits, he'll make some money, and then he'll just move on to the next company because they're popping up all the time. If I scroll through his channel, it's pretty reliable that every few months he'll start posting videos about new MLMs. And in my opinion, it seems like he's just gaming the system and he knows full well that recruiting is the only way to make money. So he'll join a company, suck that opportunity dry, and then move to the next one. And the last thing I want to drive home here again is that the title of this video is called Why I Make Money in Multi-Level Marketing and You Don't. And he never once mentions what company he's with or what product he sells. The only time he mentions products in this whole video is to tell you that you don't really need to learn about the products because it's not about the products. Just sell them anyway. Even if you've just joined and you've never tried them and don't know anything about them, who cares? Promote them anyway. Sell them anyway. That's his best tip regarding product sales. And to me, this feels like he's just making money solely from promoting new companies and cashing out on the people that he can recruit. And his whole channel just seems to be sending the viewer the message that I make money based on recruiting people into pyramid schemes and that it's not about product sales at all. Next up is a graphic that was posted by a Monat rep to her Instagram story, and it says, let's chat about money. How do I make my $400 investment back? So she's implying here that you have purchased the $400 Monat starter kit to get started with your Monat business. And here's what you can do to make back that initial investment. And then there's this little graphic that says you're going to get a $60 bonus if you have 4 VIP customers, meaning you have 4 people that you've signed up for the auto ship program. And you're going to get a $240 bonus if you have 2 market partners, also known as recruits, also known as people that you have put in your downline. Then it says, congrats, you built a block for a $150 bonus. And all of these bonuses together equates to $450. And I want to make it clear that these are bonuses that you can get from the Monat compensation plan. I know exactly where these numbers are coming from. I can show you here that you're going to get $60 if you sign up for VIP customers. That's true. She's saying that you're going to get $240 if you recruit 2 people, and that comes from this bonus, the product pack bonuses, that says you're going to make $120 for each person you recruit if you can convince them to buy the $400 starter pack. If they don't buy the $400 starter pack, then you're going to get a smaller bonus off of them. But she's saying if you get 2 recruits and they each buy the $400 pack, that's where the $240 comes in. And the last part of this is that you're going to get the block bonus, which is $150 if you have found 4 VIP customers and 2 market partners that have bought the $400 product pack. If you have all 6 of those people together, then you make this extra $150. But the best part of this whole photo is down here at the bottom. It says, this is the formula I teach. We keep it simple. We focus on helping people with these goods and not just getting to a certain number. Yet, this entire graphic is dedicated to showing you how you can make back your investment if you get to a certain number of people. She's like, it's not about getting as many people as possible into the company, but also here's a graphic with little stick figures showing you how you need to get people into this company if you want to make back your investment. And speaking of, not to mention, this whole formula here is dedicated to just making your money back, back just getting your investment back. Because look at the top, how do I make back my $400 investment? Well, you got to find 4 VIP customers and you got to recruit 2 people just to break even. Even if you do miraculously convince 6 different people to get involved with Monat, you still haven't made any profit at that point. You're still at 0. You have to find 4 people to convince to sign up for an auto ship, and you have to find 2 people to agree to sign up for an MLM and spend $400 on their starter pack just so that you can make $0. That's insane to me. Who can look at this and think that this is a good opportunity? I have no idea. But the last thing I want to mention is that also this combination and stacking these bonuses in this way is only applicable to you within the first 2 months of joining Monat. Past that point, you're not eligible for these bonuses. So if you've been in the company for longer than 2 months, it's actually not going to be this quote unquote easy to make your money back, which is kind of funny that she conveniently leaves that part out of the graphic, right? It's just absurd. Making any kind of money in an MLM seems incredibly difficult to do, and she's laying it out in perfect fashion that if you do want to make any money in an MLM, you're gonna have to get other people involved. Your success and your ability to make money is not up to you. It's up to who you can find to sign up for an auto ship or sign up for an MLM, and that is terrifying. Next up is a really short Instagram story posted by somebody in Monat, and it starts off with this photo that says, "The day Leah tried starting her business, she had trouble purchasing a product pack. We thought maybe there was a system error, but it wasn't. All 5 of her credit cards declined. That's how badly she needed this side hustle. It's people like Leah that do really well in this business. The ones that truly need change. The ones whose goals outweigh the excuses. The ones that are so painfully consistent and never give up because their current life circumstances are driving them to do things they've never done before." Then she goes on to say this.
I think so many people write off this opportunity because of excuses that they tell themselves. They're like, I don't have the money right now. I don't have the time. I've done an MLM before and it just didn't work out for me. But at the end of the day, those are all excuses. Imagine if Leah would have sat there and been like, I just don't have the money. I don't have the money. You guys, she literally tried 5 different credit cards until she found a credit card that had $199 of room left on it so that she could start this business. Imagine if she didn't do that. She has earned, I don't even know how many paychecks, so many paychecks. She's just earned her 2nd trip with Monat, 3rd trip. She's on one right now, okay? You guys.
It cuts off in a weird spot right there, and the next slide is just a photo that's unrelated, so that's the end of the story there. I just feel compelled to say that if you are so far in debt that you have 5 maxed out credit cards, joining an MLM is not a smart financial decision. I don't personally think that it's ever a smart financial decision, but especially not for somebody who is already so deep in debt. Because joining an MLM means that you would have to put yourself further into debt, in this case, spending $200 on the starter pack to join the opportunity, but with no guarantee that you're going to make a return on that investment. Think back earlier in the video when the other Monat rep was showing us that graphic of how to make your investment back. You have to find 4 VIP customers and you have to recruit 2 people, and it's hard. It's difficult to make any money at all in these things. There's a lot of steps that you need to complete to just break even. And as we know, statistically, over 99% of people who join these business opportunities end up spending more money than they make. So essentially, she just spent $200 that she didn't have to join something where there is a 99% chance that she won't get that money back. That's like taking your last $200 and gambling it away in Vegas, which actually the same exact study that reports that over 99% of people lose money in their MLMs also reports that you would have a better chance of making your money back if you did gamble in Las Vegas. So let that sink in. It's not a smart financial decision, and I know that I'm preaching to the choir, and I know you don't need me to tell you that, but I think it's sick that this woman is praising that kind of spending behavior. We should not be celebrating and praising people for spending their last dime on an MLM business opportunity. We should not be advising this. We should not be encouraging this. People refusing to join an MLM because they don't have the money, that's not an excuse. That's called being responsible with your money and not spending money that you don't have on a business opportunity where you you are likely to never see that money again. Yet, this kind of behavior is encouraged, like we're seeing in this video, because it ultimately benefits her the most. Her, as the upline, is getting credit for you signing up. She gets a cut of your commissions and your sales. She has a financial motive for you to join, even if you have literally no money to do so. And then it's framed as like this brave and noble thing that you took a leap of faith and you signed up for the MLM with your last $200. And now your upline is exploiting you and your debt and promoting you on her social media as a success story. Which, speaking of success in an MLM, and in my attempt to find some information here, I was able to find out that this person, Leah, she joined the company over 2 years ago in January of 2021, and she's only at the rank of managing market builder, which has a median annual income of about $9,000 a year. And it's important to note that when we see people's ranks like this in Monat specifically, this is listing their lifetime rank. This is not necessarily their current rank. This is just the highest rank they've ever made it to. So knowing that, maybe she hit MMB immediately and then maintained it for the past 2 years, but Monat reports that it takes people on average about 10 months to hit this rank the first time, so it would be very unlikely that she hit it immediately and held on to it for all this time. More likely, she had to work up to that rank over time, and theoretically, maybe she hit this rank 1 month and then she dropped down lower and she's never hit it again. Who knows? The point is, it generally takes a lot of time for people to rank up in these companies. It's really hard to rank up, and it's even harder to stay at those ranks. So what I'm seeing here is somebody who's been in the company for over 2 years, but they're not even halfway up the compensation plan yet. And these figures about earnings, they don't account for expenses. They don't take into account how much a person has spent to be a part of that business opportunity, in the form of annual fees, in the form of personal purchases, in the form of buying product for yourself to fulfill quotas, even if you don't need it. And I obviously don't know this person. I don't know her personal situation, but I want to point out all of these things to make it clear that there is a larger picture here that we're not seeing. It's not as simple as she's framing it in this video of like, look at Leah, she spent her last $200 and now she's super successful and on a whole bunch of Monat trips. There are so many unknown factors here. We don't know what rank she's currently at. We don't know how much money she's actually made. More importantly, we don't know how much money she has spent. We don't know if she's made enough to get herself out of all that credit card debt. We don't know if she's made more money than she's spent. We just don't know if her investing her last $200 on a maxed out credit card actually paid off. But that's how it's being framed in this video by her upline. And I think the moral of the story here is that MLM reps, to an extent, are trained to be master manipulators. They are very good at only offering up the bits and pieces of information and kind of stitching them all together to create this narrative in order to paint their opportunity in the best light, but they're never going to give you the full story. She's saying that Leah has had tons of paychecks and she's on 3 Monat trips. Okay, well, that doesn't really prove anything. How much were the paychecks for? $10 or $10,000? Did she earn those trips through actual product sales to outside customers, or did she just purchase product herself to hit those quotas? We just don't know. So here's the 2 things I want to leave you with. Number 1, do not join an MLM if you have a maxed out credit card or 5. And number 2, do not believe everything you hear coming from these MLM reps regarding these measures of success, because more than likely they are not giving you all of the details, and there is so much more to the story behind the scenes that they are not going to tell you. This is a short TikTok clip from somebody who's in It Works, and it says, hoping this lands on the girl who is living paycheck to paycheck and doesn't want to live that way anymore. I'm hiring, must be 18 plus, uncapped pay, $4,000 cash bonus, and you set your own hours. So it's a short and sweet TikTok, but there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, the top part, it's pretty explicit who exactly she's preying on, because she's saying, I hope this lands on the girl out there who's really struggling financially. I hope you come across this. I hope you see my TikTok. Yikes. But then this second part, oh my goodness, so much misinformation. First of all, I'm hiring. No, girl, you're not hiring. You're not an employer. You're a 1099 contracted salesperson for It Works. You don't have to apply to It Works to join the company. You just go on the website and pay them some money and you can sign up. There's no application here. There's no hiring here. There's no vetting process. Anyone can join. And you recruiting people to join your downline in an MLM scheme is not the same thing as hiring them. This language of hiring someone implies that you have a job for them and that you're going to pay them in the form of wages or salaries. MLM uplines don't pay their downlines. That's not how this works. You're not hiring anybody. Okay, moving on. Must be 18 plus. Yes, that makes sense. You can't join an MLM if you're not 18. That's pretty standard no matter what company you go with. Uncapped pay. Okay, this whole uncapped pay thing is a total fallacy. Yes, it is true that the upper limits of the compensation plan are not defined. It's true that it's not written anywhere that like you're only allowed to make this much money and that the top ranks stop earning once they hit this threshold. In a sense, the people in the tippy top of the pyramid, they are the ones that kind of set that upper limit. So yes, overall, the income potential is uncapped. However, it's a fallacy in the sense that you can't just join these things and miraculously have the ability or the opportunity to make as much money as you want to. You are not in control of how much money you make, genuinely, at the end of the day. You're not. You are at the mercy of those who decide to buy a product from you or those who decide to join your downline and stay in your downline. If you don't sell something or recruit people, you don't make any money at all. And those are two things that fully depend on other human beings, and you can't force those other human beings to do those things. So in a sense, I understand that overall the pyramid income is uncapped. However, your opportunity to make good money is capped based on the human population, based on if your company is way oversaturated, based on if people actually buy anything, based on if people actually sign up for this opportunity. You are not in control here. You do not have unlimited earning potential. The next thing says $4,000 cash bonus, and I truly don't know where this number is coming from because to my knowledge, this is not something in the It Works compensation plan. This is not some kind of bonus structure that you're eligible for when you join. So what I'm wondering is maybe if this was like a limited time incentive that the company was running at the time that this TikTok was posted, which was in December of 2022. I did hear other It Works reps claiming that they had a $5,000 bonus up for grabs around the holidays. She's saying 4,000. I don't know who's correct here, but what I do know is that when I looked into the requirements of that cash bonus at the time, it was structured in such a way that the requirements were pretty much impossible for anybody to meet. It really did feel like the company was like, hey, massive cash bonus up for grabs, but we're going to make it so hard to achieve that no one's going to actually get it. And that doesn't surprise me in the least coming from It Works. They are super shady in their bonus structures and they make things so difficult to achieve. I think I remember equating it to the lottery or something. It's kind of like you could win the lottery if you just buy a ticket, but we all know that the chances of that actually happening are slim to none. It really just feels like they're dangling a carrot and they're just saying, hey, this is something we're offering, but no one's ever gonna actually get it kind of thing. And finally, you set your own hours. Great. Sounds appealing, but it's not practical in practice, as we've seen multiple times on this channel, that people are often lured into their MLMs on the promise that they have time freedom and they are free to work the business whenever works for them in pockets of time. Set your own hours and all these things. But once you join, the narrative flips and it's kind of like if you're not working 24/7, you're a failure. If you don't sit on these Zoom calls, if you don't join these Facebook groups, if you're not active in the group chats, if you're not constantly proving yourself and how hard you're working and how badly you want it, then you're a failure. A lot of times that's really how people are treated and it's a total bait and switch. Like they bait you into it on the promise that you can make your own hours, it's so flexible, do it when you can, and then they switched on you almost immediately to be like, if you're not working this biz and grinding and participating in this toxic hustle culture, then you're not going to get anywhere with this. So in conclusion, I just look at this TikTok and I shake my head because it's such a simple TikTok. She doesn't mince words here. here. Everything she's advertising sounds great. And I fear that an impressionable person who doesn't know about MLMs and doesn't know how they work is going to see this and they're going to reach out to her because they want more information. And I guess ultimately that's kind of the purpose of these videos, right? Is to debunk these things and to explain them further and to show you that it's really not all it's cracked up to be. Next up is a series of screenshots that were sent to me by a viewer, and this is of a Facebook post that was posted to the Color Street Buy, Sell, and Trade Facebook group, which is exactly how it sounds. This is a Facebook page dedicated to buying, selling, and trading Color Street products. Color Street is an MLM and they sell things like nail polish strips. And the original post says, question, why is everyone goob? Which if you're not familiar, that means going out of business. Why is everyone going out of business? So essentially they're just asking, why is everyone here in this group looking to buy, sell, or trade off their Color Street inventory? What led you to leave Color Street and to go out of business? And the comments under this post are very telling. This one says, because I can't get any sales. Anyone who ever bought from me just stopped using them. The person under her says, same here. I sold 4 sets for Christmas and nothing since then. I had complaints about the quality on the new sets. I myself, the last 2 sets I put on were not sticky and they were stiff. My older sets I put on, I have no issues with them. And then the first person replied and said, that's what I hear all the time. Older sets are better quality. And can we talk about makeup? I just can't do any more advertising. Too much for no returns. This person says, I left when I no longer felt valued or heard as a stylist, aka when the new compensation plan rolled out and when the quality of the strips went downhill. They ignored our complaints and concerns, yet pushed forward with cosmetics instead of improving the quality of the nail strips. So actually, this is giving me the impression that Color Street is now venturing out into selling makeup, which is something I did not know. But clearly their own reps are not happy about this. Like, why are we venturing out into makeup when you can't even make the nail strips well, you know? Somebody replied and said they heard the complaints about the comp plan and just rolled out the updates. And the original person said, I left towards the beginning of last year. This person says, I bought them thinking that I could sell them, but I never could. I am selling all of them if anyone's interested, and I also have a large display board for sale. Down here says, way too many stylists and not enough customers. I bought way more than I ever sold. I rarely use lipstick and prefer more natural options for nail oil/lotion. Plus, it was a lot of time to make basic stylist pay. My hourly rate sucked. Investing my time in other things. And it continues. This person says, sales dropped, too expensive, poor quality, too many stylists. I spent more than I made. I still have 50 plus sets that I can't get rid of. In my humble opinion, there are just too many of us where I live. The market was too saturated. I stopped for a few reasons. No one cared about me at all. The higher ups above you don't care at all. I didn't want to sell cosmetics ever. The price went up and the quality went way down. And lastly, there are too many people who sell. They should have capped per zip code or region. My VIPs knew so many people who sold and they bought from whoever had the best deal on a live stream. Too many stylists now. I was with Jamberry and watched the same thing happen. The company starts failing. They try adding in other stuff like makeup, etc. They sell off, go bankrupt. Color Street won't make it either. There is no way to grow in this market. Too damn expensive anymore. I got deactivated when I couldn't meet the $300 quota at the end of 2020. However, I still use them. So you get the point. And this is not a typical top fail in the sense that we are featuring and debunking something posted by a rep themselves. But I think it's still really valuable to showcase this here that people are truly waking up to the reality of MLMs. And it's really refreshing to see. I love to see that people are openly admitting things like it was way too oversaturated. The quality is going downhill. They're way too expensive. I can't possibly sell these anymore. Nobody wants them. I couldn't hit my quotas. I don't want to branch out and start selling makeup when I initially joined to sell nail products. You get it. But I just love that they are taking accountability for the fact that they were once in this company and they're deciding to leave because of some concerns they have. There were red flags and they're listening to those red flags, and they're all completely valid red flags also. These are all absolutely valid concerns. Issues of oversaturation, poor quality, high pricing. This kind of business model is not set up for most people to succeed. A lot of people are going to struggle, and I love, love, love seeing people recognizing that and being like, this is not good, not sustainable, not for me, peace out. I love it. It gives me hope. And with that, my friends, that's all I have for you for today's MLM Top Fails video. I really appreciate those who sent me all the content for this video. I do rely completely on viewers to send me things. So if you do come across things on social media that you think would be a great fit for these top fails videos, check out the description box below. There are step-by-step instructions on how you can share that with me. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you in my next one real soon.